Now that the Shanghai Major has been over for a little bit, we've got a lot of information rolling in, and unfortunately, it is still on the same pace of what we saw previously. If we want to talk about the ROIs for these capsules, they are absolutely abysmal. We're looking at 42% being the highest right now, and the majority of them are not even going to be profitable when that 75% sale runs around because they're at such low ROIs right now. The truth is, if we want to look at the application and overall demand, people are not interested in the slightest for these capsules, which is something completely new. Obviously, when we're talking about Paris and Copenhagen, they were lower demand. This is nearly zero demand, and this is something that's translated into the entirety of what we're seeing for Shanghai here. The souvenir packages are extremely low in overall demand. If we want to look at the price points on them, they are extremely low. Everything, when we're talking about Shanghai, has effectively crashed in terms of demand, which is very interesting considering we haven't even seen the sale yet. 75% off sale. Maybe it's come out by the time you're watching it. Odds it's not, but it's just absolutely insane that chaos is really breaking out the fact that no one wants Shanghai at all. SkinSwap just went ahead and dropped their biggest update ever. Not only are they sponsoring you with that top link in the description, but they're also introducing backpacks, allowing you to buy any item on the site and it's going to be personally held for you. Their trading feature is often told to be the best in the business, offering near instant trades, taking under 30 seconds right now. And their selling feature is instant as well, offering PayPal, crypto, and tons of different options if you're looking to get your money this second. And finally, they've always got that 40% deposit bonus if you're looking to pick up some brand new skins, so try them out today. There's no reason not to. Now, talking about the case market, we are so back, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely insane what we're seeing. If we want to talk about the overall case prices, just to start off, we're seeing a relatively strong increase over the past month. Majority of them are up potentially 10 to 15 to 20%. This is a very strong showing because when we want to look at those unboxing numbers. Now, as much as I love the rare case market, it has been struggling when it comes to the unboxing numbers, and it has not really changed here. Majority of cases being opened right now are coming from the active duty, and overall, this number for the number of cases being unboxed is down significantly. With that being said, these are still rare cases. They're still going down in supply, so it's not something to be overly worried about. It'd definitely be really nice to see some pretty strong unboxing numbers as a whole because we're only at 15 million in the past month, but this is not something I expect to go ahead and recover overnight, especially with the Armory in game. There's a lot of competition for where you're spending your dollar. With that being said, I actually don't think it's out of the question to say things are exploding when it comes to the case market. If we want to talk about something like the older rare cases, this is your chromas, your gammas, whatever, 25% the past month for the chroma 3. If we want to talk about the revolver, the wildfire, all of these cases are up relatively significantly speaking, considering the fact is they were sitting at $2.50 to $3 beforehand. Very strong performance we're seeing from the overall case market right now, and I definitely don't think this is going to be something that's going to crash overnight. We want to look at the 1 year for a lot of these where they were on a relatively stagnant path, and therefore I think this is kind of the growth that we've been waiting to see inside of this area because obviously the supply is always going down. Therefore, the price and the demand for these has been shifting up slowly, and we're finally starting to see the market realize this. This is absolutely perfect. Now, talking about the Armory items, it's in a very interesting predicament. That's because a lot of people have really been heating up their interest specifically because of the deagle. Now, obviously, we're looking at around 1 week left for this deagle to go ahead and get removed from the game. Now, what's going to get removed with that, we don't exactly know, but the gallery case is something that a lot of people have really been taking interest in. I will say be completely careful. Obviously, you're kind of okay because that is the baseline of 80 cents. It's not going to drop below that most likely because that's what it costs in stars to get it, but I don't necessarily think it's going to get removed like a lot of people really think, and a lot of these items overall, the ROIs on them are sitting relatively decent, but I don't think that you should be making massive investments into this with the hope that they're going to be removed in just a week. We don't know. It's a very volatile area, but don't be going after anything just because you think it's for certain, especially inside of this with Valve. We know they're probably going to be trying to make as much money as possible off the Armory, and honestly, I think it's a very strong likelihood that the only thing that gets replaced is going to be that limited edition item. Now, we've got a lot of really interesting data, specifically if you're a Paris investor, stay around because we got some good news for you. Starting off here with the Elemental and Character Craft sticker collection data. If we want to look at the Elemental right here, we can see that we're on a relatively strong trend. We've nearly doubled in the past about 4 to 5 weeks in terms of the overall application numbers, and this is something that I definitely expect to stay relatively consistent. People are now figuring out all the great things they can do with these stickers, and I definitely see like there's a lot of potential investments in this area, especially if they do end up getting removed. Talking about the Character Craft, nearly identical, honestly. Majority of these are decent. There's a lot more losers in this when it comes to the overall demand, I would say personally, but as a general speak, these are definitely in a decent position. Now, talking about Paris, for the first time in about 4 months, we've actually seen an increase over the month-over-month application rate for the hollows. Now, this is most definitely due to the fact that Shanghai is out right now and people are looking at the stickers, realizing they're nearly identical to Paris and saying, why not just apply Paris because it's significantly cheaper. Obviously, this is not something that we're looking forward to because you can see that month-over-month has been dropping, and it's gone up just very slightly now, but I definitely will say it's a start, and that's definitely what we need when it comes to Paris because there is a lot of work to do. Now, with what I talked about earlier, a lot of people have really been looking at the active duty cases and trying to make make an investment into them. And it definitely happens when we see the rare case market start to explode like it's definitely been doing. Obviously it's been stagnant, now it's going up in price, but the active duty cases are a complete beast of their own. I would highly suggest you don't go into them except if you know how volatile they are. Overall, there's a lot of risk held with this, and the biggest thing is if you're investing into the recoil or the fracture, the two most likely to get removed next, supply is over 50 million a piece. If you want to look at the snake bite, same exact thing happened there where people thought it was going to absolutely explode when it got removed. It did, and it lost all that value almost instantaneously. I will say it's a very risky investment and not something I would be personally doing. We mentioned it in a previous video, but honestly, if you're looking for major capsules, it could be your opportunity right now. A lot of them are extremely cheap, especially if you want to go ahead and open some of them up. We're looking at 80% ROIs for major capsules well into their length in history, which is not something we commonly see. I would definitely say, obviously, you are probably going to lose money, but it's very interesting to see how much these major capsules have dropped. I mean, we talked about Antwerp back to a 25-cent price point with a maximum price of 34 cents on the Legends capsule. That's absolutely insane and something I didn't think we would ever see. Now, talking about what I'm buying right now, number one is definitely going to be the snakebite case. Hands down, it's a huge opportunity to get in at any rare case at a 30-cent price point. Now, the supply on this thing is absolutely massive. We talk about it, but it's continually going down. Honestly, it's going to be something that's going to take a while to develop, but I don't think there's really any other investment that can get in at 30 cents that the equivalent of a rare case is going to be, and therefore I definitely think there's a huge opportunity for this case to explode, not only with unboxings, but also investors later down the line, which would definitely be a go-K profit. Second of which, for me, is going to be the sticker capsule 2. Now, when we're talking about this one, it's something that I've tracked for a long time. It's shown the exact peaks in the market if you want to look at those big four peaks, but most importantly, we're looking at a super low price point on this in the past year or long period, depending on when you want to look. It's absolutely insane the price point it's sitting at right now, and I think there's a huge opportunity that comes with this sticker capsule and overall demand with the game. Obviously, this is actually still a rare case. It's still dropping, but it's definitely not something I expect to go ahead and explode in supply. It's relatively stable. Third for me is going to be my Armory investment. For me specifically, I'm only getting one sticker. That's going to be the Hydro Geyser. First up, it's the cheapest of the Hydros, and honestly, I think a lot of these are relatively equivalent in their crafting potential, but it's super cheap. At only a 13-cent price point with a buy order, I think there's a huge opportunity for this one to go up. And if we want to look at the application or overall demand for this sticker, is actually nearly identical to what we're seeing for the other two Hydros, which are nearly double or triple in price. I think there's a huge opportunity, and it's currently not too tapped into. And finally, my last investment is going to be into the Prisma case. When we're talking about the Prisma case, it's really solid in everything we look for as an investment. It's got a similar price point to the Prisma 2, but it's a little bit cheaper, meaning people are going to prefer this. The ROI for the unboxing is relatively strong, and when we talk about supply and demand, this thing absolutely perfect for what we're looking for. It's not too expensive at really around a 90-cent price point, which is a little bit more expensive than it used to be, but it's still a very solid option, especially when we're talking about more developed, cheaper rare cases. This is absolutely perfect. It's it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.